What is going on, everybody? This is Francis here again for our Monday Night Raw review for Monday, May 14th, 2018. I just got done watching Monday Night Raw. I took the dog out for his bathroom break and then came in here to review. And if anyone watched Unscripted last weekend, I brought up a story about Roman Reigns being WWE trying to take what happened with Daniel Bryan and apply it to Roman Reigns. And after tonight, that is definitely the way they're going, plain and simple. It was no more clear than what we saw tonight with Kurt Angle dropping the line. Management is clear that you are not to get another Money in the Bank qualifying match. We'll talk about that later. Of course, there is a news that came out right before Monday Night Raw was to air. Probably I think like 2-3 hours beforehand that Ronda Rousey is going to be facing Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank, which is an undeserved championship match, first and foremost. She's only had one title shot. She's only had one match. And even though Ronda Rousey in the video clip did say that she's only had one match and she's undeserved of this championship match, other people should get this. She, of course, does eventually take the title, say she accepts the match. First off, I gotta say this. If WWE gives her the title already, it's too soon, it's pathetic, and every single woman on that roster should come out the next night, gang up on Ronda Rousey and beat her down because she's getting favoritism. Everything Ronda Rousey said the night that at the Elimination Chamber, and I believe in the next episode of Raw that she was on or two later, she said she didn't want to be treated like anyone, like anyone. She wanted to not have any special treatment. She wanted to earn her championship opportunities. Yet here we are, 5 weeks from Money in the Bank, and she's getting handed an opportunity because the champion challenges her. How many times are we going to have a champion challenge somebody else? That does not need to happen all the time. It happens way too much. Ember Moon challenged Shayna Baszler when Ember Moon was still the champion. I can't remember. There was another one on the main roster where they did that. I think it was one of I think it was a SmackDown Women's Champion or something. Yeah, it was Charlotte challenged Ruby Riott to a women's title match at Fastlane, even though she was the champion. It should be the other way around. I don't care if you want to be a fighting champion. It's one thing if it's an open challenge, but it's like if it's just a straight up, hey, I'm going to go for you, I'm going to talk to you, and I want to challenge you, even though I'm the champion and you haven't earned it. But if you think about what they're probably going to do with this match is they've been building this up for weeks since the Superstar Shakeup that Ronda Rousey was trained by Natty Neidhart. She was brought into this business by Natty Neidhart, as in she was the one who helped train her. So. And of course, Natty Neidhart's been injured, and Natty Neidhart has been picked on by other women, and Ronda Rousey has come to her aid. So, what would it be for Ronda Rousey to get screwed over by Natty, who is jealous? It's like, I've been here for 11 years, and yes, Natty's been here for 10, 11 years in the WWE. And where's my opportunity? Why did she come in second match of her WWE career, and she gets a title shot? I was a former SmackDown Women's Champion, I think she's a multi-time Divas Champion. I should be getting opportunities. Where's my opportunity? And she's going to go to Money in the Bank, and she's going to screw Ronda Rousey over. And at Extreme Rules or SummerSlam, we get Ronda Rousey versus Natalya to give her a feud, her first legit singles feud. This makes no sense for Ronda Rousey to just go out there and get a championship opportunity. It made no sense at all, and I don't like that they did it. Other than that, Monday Night Raw, of course, was from London, so it was taped. Anybody knew what was happening before the show went on the air, because spoilers. Even the guys and girls over in London, England, and the UK don't get to watch Monday Night Raw until the normal time that it shows up on TV, because, WWE is like that. And guess who's going to start out Monday Night Raw? The obligatory promo by superstar or general manager or authority figure interrupted by somebody else. This time, of course, it is Roman Reigns, who is, of course, going to complain about his loss last week and the fact that they're setting up a match between him and Jinder Mahal, and it looks like at Money in the Bank.
Last week I got robbed. And this time it wasn't by WWE management.
Can I just say the London crowd was 50-50 tonight when it came to like reaction. Usually when they go to London, they are like hot from start to finish in a 3-hour show. Like other than Roman Reigns and his interactions here with Jinder Mahal and the Bobby Lashley triple threat match with Bobby Lashley in the main event, the crowd was mostly dead tonight, which is kind of odd for a London crowd. But he got beat out of the building.
It was by Jinder Mahal.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Jinder Mahal being name dropped by Roman Reigns garners cheers. When we started this awful Jinder Mahal title run last year with the WWE Championship, if you would have said 1 year later that he was going to be cheered by the crowd, you know what most people would have said? He must be going up against Roman Reigns.
So I'm going to cut right to the chase. Jinder, if you want to be more relevant than you've ever been in your entire career, then come out here to my yard and face me like a man. I regret to inform you that Jinder will not
Jinder Mahal not coming out cutting with us.
Since when did you start speaking for Jinder? I don't speak for Jinder. I speak for WWE.
Now, what he's about to say has got to be some of the most bullshit I've ever heard, and just proves that what I talked about on Unscripted this past weekend, that WWE wants to make Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan-esque, and wants us to get behind him because management's holding him down. This right here for the rest of this promo proves that 100%.
WWE management. When I denied Jinder the opportunity to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match, I was thinking emotionally. I was wrong.
Okay, first and foremost, how were you thinking emotionally? You were doing your job. Jinder Mahal had not won a match on Monday Night Raw since the Superstar Shakeup until he beat Chad Gable. That hardly warrants a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Plain and simple. So how are you wrong in denying somebody who has not been a winner on your brand until last week a Money in the Bank qualifying match? And that right there, I just don't understand.
As a leader, I should be thinking logically. That's what's best for business.
He dropped the line. He dropped the fucking line. Even though I guarantee they cut it out too. But that's what's best for business. That line is associated with the Daniel Bryan storyline more than any fucking thing. If anybody is reading reports that says WWE wants to use Daniel Bryan's story to get Roman over and says, that's bullshit. That right there just proves you wrong.
Jinder is a former WWE champion.
Please don't remind us, Kurt Angle, that championship title reign was the worst in WWE history. I would take Vince McMahon for a week over Jinder Mahal for 6 months as WWE champion. I would take Vince McMahon for 6 months over Jinder Mahal as WWE champion. Plain and simple.
Tonight, he will have the opportunity to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match when he's in a triple threat match against Elias.
That was hot for Elias.
Lashley. Add me in, make it a fatal four-way. I'll beat Jinder, and then I'll qualify for Money in the Bank. Perfect.
No chance from the crowd. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. No chance from the crowd.
That's not going to happen either.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Why is that not going to happen, Kurt? Can you tell me why that's not going to happen? Because, maybe he lost last week, fair and square, it is a triple threat match, no DQ, anything can happen. Or, what does Kurt Angle have to say?
WWE management has made it perfectly clear that you will have no more qualifying opportunities. Listen.
Again, the stories of them trying to take Daniel Bryan's story and use it to get Roman Reigns over is not going to work. as you just heard, the crowd cheered when they're like, oh, Roman's not getting an opportunity? Fuck yeah. Failure, 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 failure. This is not Joe Onawela, aka Roman Reigns' fault that this is going this badly. This all leads to Vince McMahon's fault. Vince McMahon is to blame for all of this.
Listen, I know how you feel. This sucks. Okay, you got screwed last week. You got screwed against Brock Lesnar when the ref made a bad judgment call.
For the last time, if you watch the video footage back, if you see the picture they show where Roman Reigns is laying on the outside after they roll off the cage, yes, he gets off the cage first, but his one foot hits the ground, his other is laying on the ring skirt. That means both feet did not hit the floor. Then Brock Lesnar rolls over, and his feet hit the floor, so Brock Lesnar is the undisputed Universal Champion. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The fact that they're trying to play this up, that Roman Reigns is the uncrowned Universal Champion, is totally bullshit, and you know it's going to lead to a match at Extreme Rules because Brock Lesnar is not going to be at Money in the Bank.
Royal Rumble. I don't blame you if you're upset with me. I get it. You got a family, you got a job to do, and at the end of the day, you're just doing what you have to do. Thank you. I know that, and now, I'm going to go and do what I have to do. Not exactly sure what that means, but...
And of course, he walks to the back, and what is he going to do? What is big old bad Roman Reigns going to do? Well, he's going to find Jinder Mahal, and hold on, it's right here. He's going to go find big old Jinder Mahal and, go after him. If they haven't edited it, listen to the crowd reaction.
There will be hell to pay.
The camera pans and there's Jinder Mahal, and the crowd erupts into cheers. Vince McMahon, again, you have failed. Yes, people, when Jinder Mahal by the time we got to Hell in a Cell last year and he was still WWE Champion, he came out to no reaction. Nobody cared for Jinder Mahal. Nobody liked Jinder Mahal. You could put the most hated wrestler in wrestling history in a program with Roman Reigns, and guess what? That hated wrestler will be liked. That hated wrestler will be cheered. That hated wrestler will become the biggest babyface in the program that you are in. Jinder Mahal is supposed to be the modern-day Maharaja, a foreign heel who hates everything America and wants to be a big, nasty heel. You put him in a program with the most hated person in WWE history. He's not polarizing. He is 100%. He's like, if he's not 100% hated, he's getting there. And the way you keep booking him makes more and more people hate him even more. Cheers, cheers, cheers. He's beating him down. Into a break. The crowd is going wild for Jinder. Picks up a really weird looking trash can and just tosses at him, and the crowd cheers. Now listen. Jinder gets thrown into a steel grate or something, and then the boos come back.
Roman Reigns just bringing the fight to Jinder Mahal backstage area. Jinder momentarily had the upper hand. It looked like Reigns might have regretted this decision, but oh my God!
They roll out to the stage area out in front of the crowd.
O'Neal's saying it now. Roman Reigns taking the fight to Jinder Mahal.
It's a first Superman who's pulling down the ring and Superman punch.
Here on the stage, right next to us.
He looks to go for a spear.
And it looks like
So then going some agents and referees come out.
Bringing some
about the
Jinder
slippery
leaves,
knees
and you
finish. Mahal retreats.
can really can't let them fight Cant.
Roman's restrained on the stage. Mahal can't get away quick enough. Remember, Jinder brought this upon himself.
Later in the night, of course, Jinder Mahal is taped up and everything to try and compete in his match. And he's getting checked out, and then it looks like he might not be able to compete. The referee, the medical doctor, wraps him up, and he's going to come out for his match, which is the main event.
That should protect you, and as long as you can manage the pain, you're cleared to compete.
Now I will show the world why I am the modern day Maharaja.
Out in the trainer's room.
Chalo,
Tiga, you okay?
I'm good.
Yeah, no. Holly. Maharaja, Tiga?
I'm good.
Walks into an obvious fake wall. This thing was cardboard with wallpaper on it or something. This thing was just obviously weak as can be. And Roman Reigns, out of nowhere, just spears him through it. If it was something a little bit more sturdy, it would have looked a lot better. Maybe if you got a piece of drywall and had him go through it, because you can spear people through drywall. I've actually put my hand through drywall. It's really not that hard if it's just with nothing behind it. Better way to go with cardboard with looks like painted cardboard or wallpaper. So he spears him through that fake wall, which obviously is a hallway. It's built to look like a hallway, and court and listen. That's booze. Now, they subdued the boos on that portion of this thing because those boos were loud and overbearing. When is Vince McMahon going to fucking learn? This guy is a failure. Vince McMahon, it's one thing to be stubborn, because if you're not going to be successful in any type of business, if you're not stubborn and you don't take a chance on ideas that you have, that you know or you feel are going to succeed. Like WrestleMania. Vince McMahon probably had to be stubborn as hell, and people try to talk him out of this, because if this thing fails, they go bankrupt. He probably had to fight to keep the company open in 1997 when WCW was kicking their ass left to right. He had to fight probably for that too. This is something not to fight for. This guy is, like I said, this guy is treading into Bray Wyatt territory. People don't care for him. People don't buy him. You're trying to make this guy a Daniel Bryan-esque character, yet you have him attacking an already injured guy, spearing him through a fake-ass wall. I live in a house that right now has, like, there's this big, huge room, and the wall this was a big, huge room with a bathroom. The person who had this house that I rent off of walled it off, so there's a hallway and then the bathroom. The wall that was used for this walling for this room is 10 times or 100 times stronger than whatever the fuck they put up for Jinder Mahal to be speared through. That was pathetic. I mean, hell, they could have just put some sugar glass or something. That would have looked better. This was pathetic. Roman Reigns attacking a helpless guy who's been injured already. That's not Daniel Bryan at all. That was Daniel Bryan would have been the guy getting speared or put through a wall when he's taped up and injured. So Jinder Mahal is going to be cheered this entire time as Roman Reigns continues to get heavily booed. Moving on here, we had what was about the best thing of the night, really. Seth Rollins, of course, is in this conversation as being one of the best in WWE right now, and again, he proved it tonight when he took on Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a really good match. Pretty much, Owens had the offense from the beginning. He just started laying haymakers into Seth Rollins, beautiful looking shots back and forth. Overall, he was just hammering him. Shots to Seth's gut in the corner, but Rollins with a clothesline to take control. Chops to Owens and a mudhole stomp by Seth Rollins. Owens leaves the ring, but Rollins goes for the suicide dive. And the first suicide dive attempt by Seth Rollins gets caught into a fireman's carry, and he gets tossed into the ring post, which I didn't notice it till later when the Braun Strowman match happened, which was a throwaway match. They didn't have the LED post this time, so they had the standard and classic metal steel post, so it definitely looks a lot more devastating. He throws him back in, hits a running senton, and gets a 2 count. Chin lock by Kevin Owens, but Rollins with a jawbreaker. Then he is tossed over the top rope as we go to break. Back from break, and they said Owens had control for the entire break. They did not show anything that happened during the break. With a knee in the back of Rollins, but Rollins back up, and Owens gets him in a fireman's carry, but Rollins out of this, and he sidesteps Owens, who falls outside. Rollins gets dragged to the outside as he tries to he does his little jump up and down before he goes for the suicide dive, which pretty much telegraphs that, hey, I'm going for the suicide dive. And of course, Kevin Owens pulls him out and drags him around. Owens then goes for the apron bomb, and this spot right here was absolutely beautiful. Kevin Owens goes for the apron bomb, the power bomb onto the apron. Doesn't happen. Now they're both on the apron. Kevin Owens goes for another power bomb, but that's blocked, and Rollins hits a Falcon Arrow onto the apron, and both men fall off the apron, and they are barely able to. They are down. The ref starts counting. They get to 7, 8. I think they got to 9. I think they may have actually got to 9 before they got back in the ring. Definitely a crazy spot. I've never seen somebody hit the Falcon Arrow on the apron's corner. That was ridiculous. Now they start trading shots, and Owens ends up on the outside. Rollins hits 2 suicide dives. Kevin Owens was actually off by the ramp. He gets hit with 1 suicide dive and gets sent back. Then Seth Rollins gets back in the ring and hits another suicide dive, and it looks like he actually goes flying and hits him further and further away from the ring. Blockbuster punt. Back in the ring and he sends Owens back. Dominic Owens sends him back into the ring and hits a springboard clothesline onto Owens. Blockbuster by Rollins for 2. I keep contemplating which guy has a better blockbuster, Bobby Roode or Seth Rollins, and I think Seth Rollins because he actually looks like he connects with the move more often than Bobby Roode does. The revolutionary knee, as they call it, blocked by Owens, and who plants him with a DDT for a 2 count. Pop-up powerbomb blocked, and Rollins goes for the stomp. Owens with a super kick, then a side step up insecurity by Rollins, then a clothesline by Owens for a 2 count. Up top in a swanton by Owens, but Rollins with the knees to the back. Revolutionary knee for the 2 count by Rollins. Rollins goes back up looking for the frog splash, but he takes too long, and Kevin Owens was able to get his knees up and roll him up for a 2 count. Owens again back up, but Rollins up again, goes for the suplex Falcon Arrow combo, but Owens with a block. Rollins gets up quick again, looks like he's going to hit his suplex Falcon Arrow, but gets hit with a twisting Fisherman suplex or the twisting perfect flex, whichever one you want to go with. Rollins rolls into the ring, Owens comes back, and it eats the stomp for the 3 counts. Definitely interesting. Rollins ends up outside. Kevin Owens goes outside, tosses him back in. He looks like he could come in and hit the cannonball. He's slowly getting in from the middle of the bottom, in between the middle and the bottom rope. Rollins pops up, hits the stomp, and 1, 2, 3, your winner, and still your Intercontinental Champion, Seth Rollins. Excellent match between these two. These two would always put on a hell of a show. And now we move on to the cringe-worthy moment number 1. I don't think they have a video clip of it, and I'm not mad if they do. We have Axel in Dallas. They quit. They pretty much turned in the resignation about being the Miztourage at Backlash on the pre-show. They come in and interrupt Kurt Angle, who was always on his phone, it seems like, and they won a tag team title match. And they are now called the B Team. They wanted to be called the A Team, but Kurt Angle's like, you can't use that name because it's a TV show from the 80s and a TV movie reboot from about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more than that. So Dallas says we are the B Team because we are the best team. They get a match with Breezango later in the night. And oh buddy, those t-shirts. Let's just talk about those later. No Way Jose versus Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin, Money in the Bank qualifier. This was the most random thrown together Money in the Bank qualifier. Bobby Roode is your winner with a glorious DDT onto No Way Jose, while Baron Corbin is laying outside. No Way Jose has been up since the night after WrestleMania and has been relegated to jobber status already. He'll be feuding with a bunny or a Mexican jumping bean later this year. In the back, Kevin Owens runs into Kurt Angle, and he wants another rematch with Seth Rollins. Kurt Angle says, no, you lost. That's not going to happen. Kurt Angle then gets told that if you don't do this, I'm going to call Stephanie McMahon. He walks off. He walks off with his phone and says, this isn't a threat, it's about to happen. Then they do show Jinder Mahal before getting iced up, and he looks like he won't be able to go. And we'll find out later. The B team wearing white shirts with big, bold black B's on their shirts. Gag me with a spoon, let me choke on vomit, or whatever this shit looks like. This looks like shit. They win with a double team move over Breezango. As soon as the 3 count hit, Bo Dallas had this shocked look on his face because he probably hasn't won a match in I don't know how long. Probably since his NXT days. They were asked about the emotion. They were overexcited. Axel calls out the leader of worlds and says, we are coming for your tag team titles. Give me a fucking break. Do not tell me you're going to give these guys the tag team titles because that's just fucked up. They do say Styles and Nakamura will continue their rivalry tomorrow, and they made it sound like it's going to be a match on SmackDown Live. I doubt that. We will have to wait and see. Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, and Natty versus the Riot Squad. Can we get rid of the fucking Riot Squad? And I'm so sick and tired of these 6-woman tag matches. It's Riot Squad versus Banks and 2 other people, and most likely Bayley sometimes. Face team wins here with Natty tapping out Liv Morgan. Now, anybody wants to know why Carmella wears her onesie that she has? Well, if you think about it, and I don't know if this is the actual reason, but it kind of is conspicuous that she started wearing her onesie a month or 2 before Liv Morgan makes her main roster debut. Because if you think about it, Liv Morgan dresses the same way, minus the suspenders, the same way. She has the same attire and same dress wear as Carmella used to have before she went to her freaking ugly-ass onesie. Which, neither one of them pulled it off well, but I just want to throw that out there. The Revival versus the Leader of Worlds. Man, how far the Revival have fallen from 2-time NXT Tag Team Champions to being one of the biggest surprises coming out of WrestleMania, the night after WrestleMania last year. Both of them get injured at different times, and then they come back. They get beaten down by DX and the Balor Club on Raw 25. And what have they done since? Absolutely nothing. They did have a glimmer of hope of showing that what they can do when they took on Matt Hardy and worked on his knee, what the Revival usually do. Then, of course, they had the Leader of Worlds win the match, and the Revival go down to the Leader of Worlds. It sucks because the Revival are a really good team, and to see them just be jobber fodder for everyone else is just, it's sad. In the back, Banks wishes Bayley good luck as she walks off into her next match. But before we get the match for the women, which is also a triple threat match, which I'm not happy. I don't think it's cool that the women get triple threat matches on Raw, and then on SmackDown we get singles matches, because you're deleting pretty much half of the roster for this women's division to get a match at Money in the Bank. Please tell me they have that clip. There it is, yeah. Sami Zayn comes out, and he wants to he's starting a feud with Bobby Lashley, of all people. And he has some things to say about Bobby's sisters.
Oh, Mr. Bobby Lashley, Mr. Jacked Up, Mr. Intense, Mr. Dominant. Leaves WWE for 10 years, decides to make his big return to Raw on the very same night that I return to Raw. And you know what? To his credit, he comes back looking like $1 million. He tries to make an impact, and that's all well and good. The only problem is
Impact, because that's where he was before he came back to WWE.
He tried to do it at my expense. All right? Take a look at this.
They show a picture of him being in the suplex.
Okay, now this happened a couple of weeks ago, and you all cheered and you all applauded as Bobby Lashley hoisted me above his head okay, and effortlessly held me there as the blood rushed to my head. And you cheered even louder yet still when he decided to send me crashing down to the mat. Oh, you all cheered, you all applauded, but did any of you stop to think what effect that would have on me? No, you didn't. Well, it's okay, because I'll tell you what the effect it had on me was, okay? Because of that right there, I contracted vertigo.
Vertigo, I don't think is going to keep you from actually wrestling a match. I don't never had vertigo, but he's acting like it's a disease or like a sexual transmitted disease or something. And by the way, that was like 3 weeks ago, so I'm pretty sure vertigo would be gone by now. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below what it actually does.
That's right. The first ever documented case of vertigo in WWE history. That's why I have lost every single match that I've been in since that incident, and it's all because Bobby Lashley targeted me. Bobby Lashley victimized me. And he did it all to impress you? Oh my goodness. It's disgusting, and it's actually working is the worst part, okay? He's getting cheered, he's getting all this buzz, he's getting notoriety, he's getting special treatment. Just last week, he sat down to a super exclusive interview with Renee Young. Bobby Lashley targeted me.
Can we please forget about that cringe-worthy interview, because that thing was the stuff of the nightmares. Allow me to go throw up for actually even mentioning that. Moving on.
Because he wants to be me.
Sami Zayn's a delusional fuck.
Well, you don't believe me? Look at the hat. Look at the hat. Everybody knows that's my hat.
Simple?
No. See, so to simple people like you, that might be the answer. But not to an intellectual like me, no sir. See, something just didn't smell right. All my years, if there's one thing I've learned, is to trust your instincts, and all my instincts were telling me this guy had something to hide. So I used a little tool at my disposal that I like to call Facebook.
Sami Zayn using Facebook to start a feud with somebody. Could you ever think that would actually be a thing in 2018? Let me go to Facebook, look up this guy's daughters, sisters, talk to them, and let's start this feud. Oh, buddy, WWE scraps at straws.
And I reached out to Bobby Lashley's three sisters, and boy, oh boy, did they have a story to tell.
Unlikely.
That's right, these three lovely ladies were nothing like Bobby Lashley described them to be. And from what they tell me, Bobby Lashley isn't exactly the person that he portrays himself to be either. Yeah. Oh yeah. But you know what? It's fine. Hey, don't take my word for it. You can ask his sisters. That's right. Because I have invited his sisters next week to appear on Raw. Jessica, Francis, Kathy, and with his sisters in attendance, I promise I will expose the real Bobby Lashley.
Okay, so what? And I don't know if Bobby Lashley really has three sisters and this is just something they're doing, or they're just going to give three hired actresses. Most likely that. You play Bobby Lashley's sisters just to, fuck with Bobby Lashley. So we're getting a feud between these two because why? Is this because they have nothing for these two to do? Because Bobby Lashley will most likely lose the Money in the Bank qualifier tonight, and, Sami Zayn lost last week. So we're just going to throw these two together? I guess so. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James for the third entry into the Women's Money in the Bank qualifier. Of course, this was a 2-on-1 handicap match for the majority of the match because it was Mickie James and Alexa Bliss just beating down on Bayley. Bayley did fight back for the majority of towards the end of this match, but she ends up eating a DDT, and of course, surprise, Alexa Bliss wins. She has somebody in WWE's creative or Vince McMahon himself has a hard-on for Alexa Bliss, and she is when Drew McIntyre, which I don't think they had the promo, and I wish they did, said that the WWE locker room is getting soft. Yes, Alexa Bliss is getting complacent because she knows that she doesn't have to work as hard as a Bayley or a Sasha Banks or even a Nia Jax to get the opportunities just because of her appearance, her blonde hair, and her small stature. She doesn't have to work as much because somebody in creative has a hard-on for her, and it's fucking pathetic. I think Bayley should have won that match, and then you could have had the heel turn, the 100% heel turn of Sasha Banks, who's not in the match, come out and fuck Bayley over. But that's for a different time. Then we had the Jinder Mahal thing where he gets speared through a fucking wall, boo boo boo. Then we had, for whatever fucking reason, Braun Strowman and Finn Balor teaming together versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. The only highlight of this entire thing was Braun Strowman ran Drew McIntyre over, and the residual effect of him running Drew McIntyre over caused his Greatest Royal Rumble trophy to fall over and break. So I'm sure Saudi Arabia's prince is not happy with the fact that he probably sees this, or they'll edit it out so it doesn't happen on TV, that the Greatest Royal Rumble trophy was destroyed on Monday Night Raw. By accident or on purpose, it doesn't matter. Braun Strowman and Finn Balor lose this match because as he's running over Drew McIntyre, he gets knocked out, and Finn Balor is going up, I believe, for the coup de grace. Ziggler crushes him on the ring post. He brings him down, rolls him up, and 1, 2, 3, the show, or whatever the hell their name is going to be, win the match. So, a little nitpick for me, they did have Dolph Ziggler come out first this time, and then Drew McIntyre's music hit, which, why did they change or edit his music from NXT? I wanted to know this. But then they take his Titantron, and the cool, like, grainy, brownish, like, rough and tough Titantron he has, they replaced with black lettering with a blue background. Really didn't speak for Drew McIntyre that I think it should, but that's just a little nitpick to me. In the back, Angle's on the phone with Stephanie McMahon because they highlighted the Ronda Rousey thing for the second time tonight. And she tells him that he says, I have somebody to replace Jinder Mahal, it's a great athlete. But before he can even really make a mention of that, she says that's not going to happen because, well, we don't hear what she says. But she pretty much tells him, you're going to give such and such another opportunity because of such and such and such. And if anybody's been paying attention this far, you know it's going to be Kevin Owens. We get Lashley versus Elias versus Kevin Owens. This match was just, ugh. Bobby Lashley, if you want to be a private guy and you don't want people to make fun of you, like talk about your sisters or your family, don't talk about it on WWE television because Sami Zayn pretty much says he's going to bring them next week. And then during the middle of this match, we get Bobby's sisters, like that. Elias tries to have a concert mid-match, which I thought was kind of funny. A Let Him Sing chant breaks out. Lashley getting booed towards the end of this match, like Elias and Kevin Owens were teaming up on Bobby Lashley or trying to do a double suplex to him. He suplexes both of them. They're both in the corner, and you just hear boos raining down on Bobby Lashley. So the fans kind of turned on him in this show, so that's funny. Bobby Lashley looks like he's about to win. He gets a revamped version of the Dominator, which is better than that vertical suplex bullshit he's been using for the last 6 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks or whatever. He goes to pin Elias. Sami Zayn, out of nowhere, pulls him out of the ring, tosses him into the barricade, hits him with the Haluva kick, and Kevin Owens' Guardian Angel again comes through, helping Kevin Owens win his way into Money in the Bank. So, for Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and Bobby Roode are your 4 men's Money in the Bank qualified for the match. On SmackDown, we only have Miz and Rusev at this time. One of them will be a member of the New Day or the Bar. The other member, I do not know. I'm hoping the tag team Money in the Bank ladder match is not a thing. There's not enough credible tag teams to have a Money in the Bank ladder match, and that's overkill. The only one that would be acceptable would be 205 Live if they got their own ladder match. And could you imagine having those guys in a ladder match at the Money in the Bank? That would be crazy. But that is Monday Night Raw. We are going to be here for SmackDown Live, of course, tomorrow. It has been a long and tedious day, and that is going to be it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, smash that like button, and find me on Twitter at TheFront. Find me on Twitch.tv as at TheFront08, where I'm on there every single day. See you guys tomorrow, and have a nice one.